My name's Dean Stewart. I'm the Education Manager for the Koorie Heritage Trust. My mob's Wamba Wamba and Wagaya, which is about 4 hours drive north of Melbourne up near Swan Hill. So for me, I'm way out of my ancestral country. But I've been doing cultural interpretation in Melbourne for probably about a decade or so. So it's a great honour for me to be able to do these as well. And one of my main joys is I take heaps and heaps and heaps of people on what I call walk and Birrarung, cultural tours right through the middle of Melbourne here, centering on the Yarra River. Well, to me, every river and creek is, they're the veins and the arteries of the land. And, human beings are made up of, 80% of water or something anyway. And, this is for me, a manifestation of our connection to place and to country as well. And they're part of our story, they're part of our song. And, and even though, we're right in the middle of the second largest capital city in Australia, you can always find a place to reflect and to find some peace with the waters. I probably do several hundred people a week along the Yarra River here, right in the heart of Melbourne. And for me, having people find some of that story, find some of that connection to place themselves is really warming to the spirit. And one thing I really love is regularly get all the little grade 4s and all that stuff coming on the walks with us, and we talk about different areas along the Yarra River and all those type of things. And by the end of the 2 hours, it's actually the teachers and the parents that are coming up to us and going, my God, I never knew that. This is fantastic. So, and you're getting these two different generations, learning about stuff at the same time. And every now and then, when we're walking through here, and part of Walk and Birrarung, our little journey, is really trying to paint a picture of what this place is built on today, what it was like hundreds of years ago, and getting people to remember those things. And occasionally, when I've got all the groups sitting here, some gunawara, some black swans, will just right on the mark, will just come down the water as almost a memory to the wildlife and that diversity that used to be right here next to the Crown Casino and everything. So for me, getting people to get a sense of that connection to place is incredibly important. Yeah. Well, again, for me, all this is about, if people can understand, if people can establish a depth of connection, then from there comes that respect and those things. It's interesting. Sometimes we'll stand on the edge, just like what we're doing here with the grade 4s, and I'll get them to look in the water, and then I'll say, what's all that stuff down there? And they'll say, oh, pollution. I'll say, no, what is it? And they say, oh, rubbish. And I'll say, no. And they'll say, garbage. And I'll say, no. And I said, what is that stuff? What is that stuff? And they'll say, litter. And I say, no, what is it? What is all that stuff? And they've, it's not pollution, it's not litter, it's not garbage, what is it? And I say, what all that stuff floating in the water is us as people disrespecting the land. And ultimately that's what it is. And you can use very technical nouns like pollution and rubbish, and it takes away what it actually is, which is a disrespect for land and country, and getting people to understand that everybody's a custodian to place, you know, whether they're riding in a Connex, you know, train or whatever, they're still a part of the place, and that there's a connection between us, the waters, the land, and all those things. And again, once you get that awareness, you can get that respect. Actually, one thing that inspires me is when I'm walking across the Queensbridge Street just here, and the sun's out, and the ripples and the water reflections that bounce off the reinforced concrete, and it gives the concrete this beautiful, you know, look. And I find it interesting that, you know, if the reflections off the water weren't there, it would be just this ugly grey, and how something as simple as that can actually change the whole energy of something, and the waves of the light coming off it is just gorgeous. Yeah. It doesn't take much to inspire me. Doing the walk and Birrarung Yarra tours has been a great joy for me, because getting particularly Melburnians a understanding of what this place used to be, and what this place has built upon, and what this place is built facing as well, is really great for me to see. And more and more people are now coming on these programs, and one great coup for me is the fact that we've now got all of Museum Victoria, all of Melbourne City Council staff, all of Tourism Victoria staff, the whole lot of them doing this walk with me as well along the Yarra River. And you know, all those people, you know, whether they probably want to deny it or not, spend at least 50 to 60% of their life working, and working right in the middle of the city here, and getting them to reconnect with this place, and the history of it is incredibly important as well. Yeah. So, was it 3 wishes? Probably only need one, because if people really respected something, and meant it, through not only saying it but their actions, then we wouldn't have to worry, because, you know, people would be doing their utmost to protect the place, and to look after it, and not to throw their rubbish in the water, and, you know, chemicals and all the rest of it. But you know, being in a modern world, and you know, it does make it very difficult. But if you'd only need one wish.